One of the absolute worst things we can do to ourselves as business owners and CEOs is sit down at our desk, open up email and Asana, and let email and Asana and everyone else dictate how we spend our workday. Okay, that is how my worst workdays are spent. When I don't have a plan or I abandon my plan and I just do whatever Asana and email tells me to. Recipe for a bad workday as a CEO. You need to know, as the CEO, as the founder, as the owner of your company, what the highest contribution of your time is, and be really clarified and disciplined to be doing that and not just completing tasks and reacting to what all the needs are, because there's going to endlessly be needs, right? Your job is to be the visionary, be super clarified on what is needed, what your best investment is with your time. So there are 3 things that I'm working to incorporate more into my workdays to help me really operate in that highest contribution as a CEO and as a creative, because I am a creative within the styled stock industry and with Social Squares. So for me, the 3 things that I'm trying to incorporate into my workday as we wrap up the year and as I think ahead to next year and start to restructure my ideal day, it's going to include these three things, okay? Number 1, a chance to learn, all right? We all need to be perpetually learning, and not just learning from other people within our industry or learning more about our particular craft, although that's really important also, but I want to be learning from a variety of different industries. I think there's just so much out there that can stimulate us mentally, that can give us new thoughts and ideas, and I want to make sure that I'm making time to learn. So for me, that's going to look like watching a few TED Talks every workday. I just want to get my brain churning and thinking outside the box, and even thinking outside of the work that I have to do and outside of my industry by listening to a few TED Talks at the start of my workday. Okay, that's one thing that I'm doing. Number 2 is I am making time to connect. Now, some of you have no problem connecting, and maybe you're spending a little too much time on Instagram connecting, but that's not the case with me. I fall on the other side of the spectrum where I tend to be pretty head down, and I really miss out on opportunities to connect with and encourage other small business owners in my online space, in my online community. So I'm making a point to make sure that my workday includes a little bit of time to reach out, connect with, and encourage other people, other small business owning women that I think are doing a phenomenal job, okay? So number 1 was learn. Number 1 was learn. Number 2 is connect. Number 3 is create. The third thing that I'm incorporating into all of my workdays, or trying to incorporate into all of my workdays, is the opportunity to create, and not create attached to work or attached to it making any money, but just to create to challenge myself. It's kind of like writers that say, I'm going to force myself to write 200 words a day or that kind of thing. So in my context, that's creating imagery, same way that I do for Social Squares, but not necessarily to go in Social Squares, just creating for the fun and freedom and challenge of creating something new every day. So going on my list of ideal workday tasks is making sure that I'm creating one image that inspires me, whether or not it could ever go in the Social Squares catalog, creating one image that I think is beautiful and I'm proud of and inspiring every single workday. Okay, so those are the 3 things that I'm incorporating into my workday as the CEO of Social Squares, and maybe something like that would be helpful for you, just to make sure that you're being disciplined and you're setting aside time to invest in yourself creatively, invest in your mind, invest in the relationships around you within the industry that you're in. So those are 3 things I'm doing. I'm connecting, I'm creating, and I'm learning. That is an ideal way for me to spend at least the first part of my workday every single workday, as opposed to just reacting to whatever the needs are, okay? This is helpful for me. I'm learning and growing in it. I hope that this kind of thing would be helpful for you as well.